Sound good for me. Okay. Let's begin. So, old business, we have the event sign. Has anything, but I know we haven't really talked about that since.
So my plan for the event sign, because it also can be used for like public information, if there's a COVID booster coming up, or if there's another public health outcry that we need to alert the community, we can use that. So it actually falls under the Maine Resiliency Partnership with educating our population, which was dubbed one of the top 5 priorities in Millinocket. So one of those $50,000 grants we can use for that funding. That's low hanging fruit right there, I think, where we're already a part of the partnership and it was listed as a priority. There are other options as well. I can apply to the Mackenzie's. We qualify for that. And also the Hannaford Foundation is another one we can utilize that for. So we do have some options. I just think the Maine Resiliency Partnership would be our best bet.
I agree. How long is like the wait time, just like devil's advocate on like the Mackenzie grant and the Hannaford Foundation?
So I just applied for the Hannaford grant for new turnout gear. So I can apply again in another year. They do up to 25,000. The Mackenzie grant comes out next winter, like January, February.
Okay.
So we can apply then, because then the spring round of the 50,000, I believe, is in April. However, I've heard that the Maine Resiliency Partnership, that the turnaround is pretty quick.
Okay.
So I'm eager to see if we are awarded the funding for the last grant that we just submitted, that 50,000, and how quick that turnaround is. That can kind of help us gauge, because I know our goal is to have that sign put in next summer.
Yes. I'm just thinking the quote that was given to us will probably have to be updated by that time. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping things go down by then.
I know. But at the worst, we can always submit for the Mackenzie's and
True.
the other one.
Okay.
So we do have plenty of options. It's just a matter of waiting for those grants to open back up.
Okay. That sounds good to me. So that's pretty good progress. I mean, it's kind of slow when it comes to finding money, but
Yeah.
I think that's great progress. So new business. Let's start with the cruise and fly-in. You said there was something about t-shirts with.
So the t-shirts we were able to get them ordered. They're gonna allow us to pay them later after an invoice. Jeff received those all this morning. He just asks that the events committee if we can pay for the shirts, because that helps him raise some funding to go back into the airport. Plus it's a really great cause. I don't know if you guys know, but the firefighter crew that comes out and does the cooking, that all goes into a scholarship fund. And that really is the only thing that people have to pay for, other than if they want to buy a shirt.
Yeah.
Which I think is incredible, that it's a free event for the community.
Yeah, Jeff was telling me how they everything that they make, they put into a scholarship fund. And we had talked about possibly next year doing something similar and doing something for the high school.
Yeah.
Making a scholarship fund for that directly from the airport. So,
And I mean, there's a lot of local scholarships that I'm sure quality scholarships in the community that I'm sure would love the additional funding.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea. I did contact Lifelight. They did say that they were gonna do something a while ago. And then Jeff had said he had confirmed with a couple of people on their passing by that they were gonna be coming up. So I was very happy to hear about that. I know, speaking to a lot of people from car shows and stuff, they were very discouraged with there only being one gas station in town and no non-ethanol gas in the area.
Oh.
So even though there is one at Lenny's, but I'm not sure why their biggest concern was Millinocket not having any. But there were some concerns about that with people that I had spoken to. I don't know if Jeff has heard anything different, but I'm hoping that's a good turnout.
He actually 2 weeks ago, when he was on vacation, so he was able to meet as a part of an antique cars club. And he was able to meet with all of them, and they've all committed to coming up for the event.
That's awesome. I've seen a couple in town.
Yeah, so he's pretty excited about it. He thinks it's gonna be a great turnout. The only thing you can't control is the weather, so.
Yeah.
Yep, but it does look like it might be okay tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah.
today was supposed to be really bad, so, and it was beautiful, so that's a good thing. So that order I almost have done. Do we know the company?
No, but he's supposed to get me that invoice ASAP, and I told him, I promised him I would forward it to you.
Okay, perfect. I have that invoice done. I just gotta put the name and the amount,
Cool.
and then it's all set for Peter. Other than that, the next thing is new members. So for new members, we've had a lot of people join us, which is fantastic. I'm always happy to see new people, including if you want to introduce yourself for those that are watching this and recording.
Hi, Rebecca DeRobis.
So, you work for,
I'm self-employed.
You're self-employed?
I have my own business, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I do one-on-one business coaching and group trainings.
we have two other applicants that haven't turned in their applications yet. One's Michael Crowley with the Alumni Foundation. And then there was another individual.
Amy Collinsworth.
Amy Collinsworth. I still have yet to get Michael's, and Amy hasn't
She
turned.
hasn't, I've sent it to her, but she hasn't turned it back in already.
Okay, perfect. And you put one in yet, or were you planning
You
on
guys
it?
have already approved it.
We did, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a lot going on.
Yes, I get it.
Perfect. So, we'll move on to the next thing then. Fall/summer movies that we had talked about for driving.
If we can, wanna get it approved, we can have an order ready for next week. I can get the film ordered for, I think we should do the weekend before Halloween, like a Friday night family movie
Yes.
in the park. Peter has the screen, speakers.
Peter does?
Oh, yeah, he purchased it, this summer in hopes that we would be able to find cheaper licensing.
Did we?
No, no, we have, this is the only company that has quality movies, and it's about $400 to $600 a pop. I've
Wow.
asked other towns that have a regular movie night, they use this company.
Do they? What is the library years? Aren't they doing?
They have one, but it's specific to libraries
Oh,
licensing, so if we had like a rec house, like an actual rec complex or community center, we could have more affordable licensing, but because we do not have one to host it indoors and we're showing it outdoors in a public park, that's why we have to pay the $400 to $600 fee.
makes sense. Do we have a movie pick?
Well, there's a couple options, there's Hocus Pocus, there's
Focus
Halloween
is big right
Town
now.
is another one, Nightmare Before Christmas is another one. Any Halloween movie, I know they have Hotel Transylvania, so that's pretty big with the kids. Those are like your basic Halloween kids family
Yeah,
movies.
the big ones. I know Hocus Pocus is really big right now with the new one
Mhm.
being released, so.
And that's not only like a lot, like kids love it, but it's nostalgic for, I think, adults too, Hocus Pocus, so I think that would be a cool one.
I do too.
And we can open that up for, one of our local organizations, any 501c3 could potentially sell hot cocoa or popcorn or,
The senior class is doing candy bars too, so I mean,
yeah, we could invite one of the classes to raise money and they can sling snacks and beverages that night and people can bring their own chairs. There's the bleachers there. We just have to make sure we bring towels and pre-dry them off if it's damp.
I'm thinking, do we know how much it would cost for Design Lab to make up like a flyer?
That's in the town's contract.
It is in the town's
Mhm.
contract, okay.
So they'll make any flyers that we need.
Just taking notes, flyer for movie event. You said $400 to $600.
Yep,
Okay,
I can, if we wanna go with Hocus Pocus, just for example, I can get the exact price locked in Tuesday morning.
there's only 3 of us here that are technically members right now. So Louis, do you have any thoughts or?
No thoughts.
No, that's okay.
Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I personally feel like Hocus Pocus is a great pick.
No, that sounds fine.
So I'm definitely fine with going for that. Once Peter gets back from his event, today's his last day there, right?
No, he was in today.
He was in today, okay.
Mhm.
I'll send him an email later and I'll see if we can't get Design Lab to make us a flyer for it.
Oh, I can email them first thing Tuesday morning. I'm authorized to get stuff going.
Perfect, that sounds great. So the flyer, $400 to $600, I'll draft up an order.
I'll add it to the Magic City Monthly, so it'll be out a couple days before.
Perfect. If we can get some flyers made, I'll bring some around town and I'll put
Mhm.
them up around local businesses. And I'll even, I gotta go to the school anyway, so I'll bring some to the school and see if we can't get some put up at the school as well.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So, perfect, I think that's fantastic.
And if it's successful, we can continue that, if we get a good turnout, we can do like the Thanksgiving a Thanksgiving-esque movie in
Oh.
November.
What are the chances of doing like a simple like grayscale flyer too, like a half-page one, so that way you could make up copies and send them home with all the kids? Because hanging them up at school, you know, the kids don't stop and read them, only the teachers would see it. And yeah, we could put it on the school's Facebook, and maybe like some other groups would put it on their Facebook, but
That's a really
if
good
you send
idea.
it home in their backpacks.
I was thinking announcement wise too, like if the school could do like an announcement, like, oh, this is happening, like,
But I
Yeah,
like
but
that,
then
especially
also
for
counts
Granite.
yeah.
It really, with the younger kids, it really counts on them remembering when they get home, because I don't know if you remember when you were in school, but you heard tons of stuff. Your parents heard, what'd you do today? I don't know.
Yep, I don't know. No, I
love
think
that,
bringing
yeah,
it home
'cause
with the
we can-
kids is good.
We can print them at just the municipal building, the town office. They'll print in black and white.
Yeah, bring this to the parents.
Yeah, just put it in their backpacks. That's a great idea, and that'll give them more outreach with the youth.
Yep, I think that's great too. Does anybody know who the senior representative is for the class for the seniors or?
I do not.
Okay.
But I would reach out to Kama. I think she would be the best point of contact. Kama Michelle.
Perfect, okay, I think that's great. Another great thing down, and like you said, if it does go well, we had talked about doing it for like Christmas, and
Right, we can
Thanksgiving,
keep
yeah,
it going.
Valentine's Day, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like,
Valentine's Day, yeah.
hey, there's Valentine movies.
There is. We can
I
do
can't think of any for children. but-
Groundhog's Day, like, come on.
Exactly.
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day up. So this kind of ties in with October events. So I actually was talking upstairs to the ladies upstairs, so they're doing like a Halloween party here.
Mhm.
That people or the students are hosting and taking care of. I think that'd be something cool for us to get involved with. You know, and possibly just help wherever we can, whether it be buying candy or, you know, popcorn or whatever we can do to help out.
Absolutely.
So they were telling me about that. I know that there was discussion on doing a harvest festival. There was a committee formed around doing regular like craft fairs and
Mhm,
not festivals, what's the word I'm looking for? Farmers markets.
mhm.
And I don't know where they ever went with that. They meet too early in the morning for me to show up.
That's their farmer's market is going live this spring, is
Spring.
what they're hoping for.
Okay, I'd like to see about doing like a huge harvest festival next year, cause
Yeah,
you
that
know,
would be cool.
like a hay bale festival or. Steve at one point had talked about doing like a sunflower festival, and I think it'd be cool to continue that idea. Especially on like the main street line, the whole main street with vendors, and
Yeah.
I think that'd be nice.
Are we going to participate in the fire station's trunk or treat?
I think we should.
I mean, I'm going to be there as a municipal employee with my car, but I think that if we can all get involved, that would be huge.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I think we should, well, from the events committee standpoint, I'd like to see like a donation, whether it be of candy or just to the fire department so they can hand it out. That way it takes kind of the burden off them.
Yeah,
Possibly even just having like an event stand down there for them. Anything along those lines. I think Tom does a fantastic job every year. So anyway, we can support him in doing that. I'm absolutely okay with.
cool.
Any other October events that anyone's aware of locally or? None, good, all right.
No.
I know there's not a lot going on this time of the year and it's getting really slow, but I'd like to keep the pace and try to do these things. You know, people are really excited for fall this year, and you know, after talking to a lot of people, Halloween's becoming a lot more of a popular holiday, so I think it's a great time of the year to celebrate. So whether it be Halloween or the harvest. November. So possibly another movie.
Yeah,
What other events I know November is like a really odd month to do
we
events.
could do a
in.
turkey drive.
What's a turkey drive?
People can buy an extra turkey and donate it, and we can distribute them to people in our community who are in need of a turkey.
Do we have somewhere we could store some turkeys?
They can. No, but we can get creative. I
Okay.
mean, for example, people can drop them off to us in the morning and then they're frozen. We distribute them that afternoon. They're not gonna thaw
True.
in a day. It takes a couple days to thaw a turkey.
Maybe we could team up with Hannaford and they could put one of their little portable freezers like at the front of the store or something. If people buy them, they could just put them in that freezer.
I love
That's a good
that.
idea.
That's a really good idea.
Who's the manager at Hannaford right now?
Mike,
I just threw all the receipts out of my purse. So.
His name's Mike, I can't think of his last name, Michael Bennett, maybe?
Okay.
But him or Adam would be the best people to talk
Oh,
to.
Adam, I forgot about Adam. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Adam would be on board with that, so
Yeah.
I'm down for that
And
too.
it would benefit, I mean, it'd be beneficial for them because people will be buying extra turkeys from them. to
Right.
put in the freezer, so.
Yep, I agree, and I think overall it's a great idea anyway. It's a great time of the year to give thanks and to give out to people, so I think that's,
and our
a
biggest
good
thing, we
idea.
would just have to collect names and deliver them.
yep.
I mean, it's no money cost of ours unless we, as individuals, choose to donate.
And I'm
but-
sure there's some local nonprofits that would be more than happy to get involved. So I'm sure the Knights would love to get involved and possibly even the Red Knights. So those are all things that I will keep in mind when I'm talking to people this week.
Yeah,
We can
Um,
even reach out to other groups and organizations of the churches or different things and have each church pick like a side dish or something to go with it. Like one group could be in charge of donating cranberry sauce, another group could be in charge of donating like
Green
stuffing
beans,
or
yeah,
beans,
like
a box
whatever.
of
And so
stuffing.
then it becomes like
A meal.
A meal instead of just a turkey.
Put it all together.
yeah, I
And
love
so-
that.
So like, I know there's a lot of overlap, but maybe if you're going to church, you have to bring a couple cans of cranberry and buy a turkey at the, instead of everybody having to.
It's a good idea. And that's where I was kind of going along the lines of like the Knights of Columbus, I can talk to Father Dominic and the Knights and see if there's something that they want to do. And, other churches would probably love to get involved. So I think
I'd
that's
be fun to see
fantastic.
More of that kind of.
Yeah, the
like,
community,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Collaboration.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely, especially between like the churches and stuff. That would be awesome. I'm 100% down for that. So
I
we,
could use also, I can use Constant Contact for like a sign up, I can create a survey where people can just put like their name and address if they choose, and then it'll be completely anonymous from everyone except for myself and Peter.
Yeah.
Because it's to make people more comfortable.
right,
would it be possible to arrange like, for people who aren't necessarily involved in those, like a drop-off location where people could drop off non-perishable items to donate, like maybe just at the town hall or?
I was gonna say, I'm sure we can put a box up at the town hall, one of those tall ones for canned goods.
well, it's funny you say that because the Catholic Church used to do that a long time ago. They used to have a box that you could donate non-perishables to. So the churches probably would be okay with it. One at the town office.
Yeah.
Maybe one at the school for when kids bring stuff in, like they used to bring the stamps, like now they can bring canned goods.
Yeah,
I think those are all great ideas. And boxes for non-perishables. Okay, so we got Turkey Drive, possible movie for Thanksgiving, depending on how the Halloween movie goes. I can reach out to like upstairs, see what they're doing for Thanksgiving or for fall or November. I'll reach out to the school. Sometimes the school does like a show in fall, so maybe they're doing something like that, or maybe there's some other events that we don't know about.
Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe we can get involved with that too. Overall, I think that's great. All right, next is December. Great time of the year. Snow falling, Christmas.
well, we have the marathon that we should get involved with in some capacity.
Yes, who's in charge of that now? Was it that runner that?
I'll put your name right now.
Last year, the PTO helped coordinate the kids' fun run.
That could be cool, yeah.
Now that, at least as far as I know, the PTO no longer exists, that kind of leaves a vacuum there, but that would be a good way for the town to like, or at least this group to get involved in, it wasn't too much of a big deal, we just had cocoa and there were snacks that they could buy if they wanted to, but we mostly just gave them to the kids. And then we had somebody make some little homemade, like participation medals, and so when kids came, we signed them in and gave them their number and, did all the parents sign the release form and.
Lynn Mack can be a resource for the information you're looking for.
Gary Allen is the man who
Yeah.
organizes the marathon.
He's the one that started it.
Yeah. That's a good one though, because families love the kids fun run. And all we would have to do is organize it, maybe get like little medals for the kids.
Yeah, we had a local man cut like a tree branch up and somebody else wood burned like the little marathon.
Oh, like
into
their
the-
marathon, yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
that's what
and then
everyone
we just
gets.
put twine around, drew holes and put twine around it. And so all the kids got one at the end of the fun run. And so they just ran down the street and back, and some of the kids dressed up, and it was so fun
Yeah.
and ridiculous.
That's
and
awesome.
Amazing. And so I'd hate for that to go away or not be
Yeah.
Yeah.
coordinated, and
So this is a good opportunity for us to pick that up and ensure it keeps
And
going.
if I get approved to join the committee, I will be happy to help with some of the coordination of that.
That would be awesome. What about Skeeto?
So we've cleared out, and cleaned up the first hill. We're working on the second hill, Public Works is. We will hear back on the 11th about Winter Kids.
Okay.
Last I checked, we were like neck and neck.
Oh,
Well,
no
we were in
way.
the top 5. So, and we were neck and neck with the 4th place person, and we were in 5th, so I don't know. I'm hoping that all those last email blasts help knock us where we need to be. But we were number 1 in our category. It was 4 main public schools in the south that were beating us, so.
Oh,
I mean, the
man.
population, so we'll see, but I'm hopeful, I mean, we never know. They also didn't explain, because you were allowed to vote in every category, if like they're gonna award every category.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm kind of, that wasn't clear to me, so I'm just trying to keep out hope for the 11th. But I'm also applying to the Harold Alphon Foundation to secure the rest of the funding. And we're just gonna keep chipping away until we get all the funding we need to get the actual rope tow.
Right.
But for now, the best we can do is clean those up and make them look nice and presentable and get those branches so kids aren't getting slapped in the face anymore.
And maybe there's still something we can do this year, even without the, the pole. I mean,
I mean, people use it without the rope pole, so.
right. I mean, I'd still like to see some kind of event happen there, just to, people realize that it's
Well,
being
wasn't
cleaned
there
up and
previously like the winter, what is it, the showdown? or-
Snowdown.
Snowdown, yeah.
That's in,
Yeah, they highlighted that place.
that's in like January, February though, right? That's not in
Yeah.
December.
No.
So,
It's later in the winter.
Yep.
For December, well, plus in December, you never know if you have good wet snow.
right, and that's it
It's kind of
too.
been a hit or miss the last couple of years in December for good snow. I think for December, we should
Sometimes
definitely,
October, sometimes
Yeah.
January.
yeah,
Yeah.
really. I think our best December options would be to really lean in on the marathon, lean in and support the Elks.
I have a
As,
suggestion.
yeah, she had a suggestion for the festival of, or
When we
the
lived out west, we've lived all over the country, I'm from Maine, but we lived, and in Montana, one of the things they used to do is all the towns up there would do a Christmas stroll. And how they would do that is they would just close Main Street, and then they would invite like nonprofits and anybody who's like a 401(c)(3), or you can do it however you want to, but to set up booths where they can either give away cocoa and cookies or sell it for a donation or whatever. And sometimes there would be like little craft booths or whatever up and down Main Street, and they'd have like little like invite street performers to come and just local people, very hometown kind of cheesy stuff.
yeah,
One year they had a petting zoo where they had some like deer and, winter weather kind of animals. But then at a certain time, and then families would come down and walk up and down, they'd go in and out of the stores and they do all that fun thing. And then at a certain time, Santa would start at one end of Main Street and he'd stop like every little bit and he'd like light up Main Street as he went. And then he'd get to the end and he'd light up the Christmas tree, and then people would stay and they do hay rides and stuff. But I was thinking it's perfect here because Veterans Park is at the end. And so like, even if we didn't do the light up along the way, maybe Santa, it could be like almost like a Santa parade down the street and, invite the kids to come and, and then they could, light the tree and go see Santa and like. do
That'd be
a whole-
awesome.
and
And
like I
it's,
said, we
it's
could,
like very little expense other than
Right.
closing the street and coordinating the groups to come and set up booths and stuff.
Is the,
It's,
Is the chamber still defunct?
Good question.
It'd be nice if it was an organization that you could
well, I know
address the
somebody there,
business
so,
community.
yeah, we know one of the new ambassadors there.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So there might be potential for that, but like I had mentioned, we can pull in, cause there's a lot of duplication of efforts, we can pull in the Red Knights. Because they do the Santa hut and Santa and then the carriage, we can pull in MRH for the tree lighting ceremony and make it one grand event.
One big
Instead of-
event.
3 smaller things, we can really coordinate with everyone, especially having these discussions now. and make it a great thing, a really great, well-planned
And
event.
that would fit our mission statement too, on trying to get bigger events and more community involvement. So I think that's great.
A piece with that.
And then I was just thinking that's another opportunity to reach out to all the nonprofits, you know, plus all the little churches and stuff, and I don't know, maybe some of these grandmas in the churches will knit mittens and we can give free mittens to kids or whatever, or hats or whatever, like, but we could like have little booths or little stops up and down Main Street, and she had suggested that the library had done one this summer where a bunch of the groups brought little activities and
Games.
stuff that kids could do, and maybe even some of that kind of thing, and you know, maybe.
And it wouldn't cost us much.
Nope.
Exactly,
So maybe
because.
along with that event, we can get the businesses to decorate their windows.
Right,
Little
right,
contest.
yes.
Oh my gosh, cause I grew up on the coast, and one of the things that we do every year is the high school art teacher would coordinate the high school students painting the
Windows.
storefront windows.
Mhm.
And so if we could
Have a
do
little
something like
contest or
that,
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then.
and
like-
maybe that's where our funding comes in. We can give the most voted for window display, like $100 reward or something
Something like that.
for one of the kids, cause then that money's going right back into our kids.
And we have money to do it.
Yeah,
So that, I'm fine with that too. And, adding on to that, that ties in the school, we can get the school involved, and maybe another senior event for the senior class to do something for them, or even the junior class for the prom. So those are all great events. I did write all that down. I'd love to talk about that more. So we got marathon supporting the Elks, Festival of Trees with possibly doing something with the town and the school and nonprofits
and the Red Knights.
and the Red Knight, well,
Cause,
nonprofit,
cause I just wanna highlight them specifically because they do
actually,
Santa and the
actually just
hut.
joined the Red Knights.
Awesome,
so-
so make sure the Santa Hut's included.
I will do my best.
Thank
Once
you.
I'm voted in, I'll talk more with them about it, but.
Thank you, Matt.
They did bring down, did Julia come and see you, or Julie Archie,
During Trails End,
about bringing a box down for Toys for Tots?
no, they haven't dropped one off at the town office.
Okay, they are doing that, and I think that's another great way to get more toys, is having like a Toys for Tot things for the Marines down there. I think that's a great time to
And it would be
get
fun if,
donations.
like, we do a big event like a stroll, we could actually reach out to like Marines and maybe they could have a couple of uniformed Marines be there.
Come for the Toys for, yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Because, I mean, the kids would love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That'd be awesome, and they used
Because I
to,
grew up in
do
an army
stuff.
family, but I admit, there's nothing more like appealing than a
Impressive.
Marine dress uniform.
Yeah.
Dress blues are nice.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great way to tie in, like, if the Marines come and do something, because they used to do it years ago. And really nothing like that's happened since the National Guard station in town closed. So it'd be nice to see like the Marines come do something for Toys for Tots, the Red Knights do their stuff.
Mhm.
The Elks getting involved, all the churches. I think it's a great time of the year to really do that. Really, any time of the year is a good time to do that, but Christmas especially.
Right.
So perfect. So PTO, the kids fun run, the marathon, the Elks, Festival of Trees, anything else we can think of for December? I think those are
Are we
really good.
calling, are you calling it a festival of trees? Cause I know
It's
Canaan does. a
the lighting of
festival
the
The lighting of
trees.
trees, I think I called it Festival of Trees because I'm also thinking of Cadence event.
Yeah,
Well,
We could
the
call it
tree's
Christmas.
really not there anymore, so.
Yeah,
I don't know what we're gonna do, because now there's a bunch of mini trees in Veterans Park, so maybe it is the Festival of the Trees now. I'm not sure. I don't know how MRH is gonna do that now, so.
but I was just thinking that you should be careful about calling it an event that the next town over has an actual event named that could be confusing.
Maybe we don't even need to do anything with, the lighting of the trees. Maybe we can just do something as a big community event. We can
yeah,
just
like
rename the whole thing.
Millinocket,
Holiday stroll or Millinocket holiday.
yeah,
event or-
something. We could talk to the high school as well and
Holiday, the
have,
holiday in Millinocket or something.
yeah, the choral director, maybe the kids will carol.
Oh,
Like the
caroling,
chorus,
that
yeah.
would be so fun.
One big thing it'd be nice to do is, I know that this year is gonna be really hard with, heating oil and stuff, is maybe we can do a raffle for heating oil through some of the local companies in town.
I love that at the event itself, yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Doing like a 50-50 raffle
Mhm.
or, so I think those are all great ideas. Okay, and then next on the agenda is anything else? I guess it's just other, and then we have next meeting date and agenda. So is there anything else that we need to discuss, or any other ideas that you guys have that we'd like to do? Oh, the Great Pumpkin Run, still communicating with them. They said it's still too early to really talk about it. They told me January is really a good time to reach out and talk
Perfect.
about it, but they said they would like to see Millinocket be on the map for it. So definitely still open to it.
What kind of run is it?
I was gonna say, for those who don't know, there's something called the Great Pumpkin Run. It's a fun 5K. You win, like, people dress up wacky in Halloween gear and you win like a pumpkin medal at the end, but it's a 5K. It's nationally recognized. Matthew had reached out and we were too late this year, but to get us on the map for next year, I think would be really cool, since there's been such a fun atmosphere around the marathon, the Millinocket Marathon. If we could have a fun one where people can actually enjoy themselves and not take it seriously, I think would be pretty cool.
And you don't even have to really do it in town. They have like an independent run you can do. It was just, it's really, really expensive to do independently because they have to ship the medals and everything to your house. And it's really not as fun as if we do it as a community. So it is an
People
option.
together too.
They also have a turkey trot, that same
They do.
company.
Yep.
So we could always think about that and make Millinocket a running community, I guess.
I do want to see
Got
some kind of
volleyball.
biking. I do want to see some kind of biking race too. You know, there was
There was
somebody
one
who
a few
reached.
years ago.
Yeah, but we haven't seen anything really like that since.
No, but you are right, there was one.
Yeah, so I'd like to see something with that too. Someone had reached out and asked if there was any biking events like there is with the marathon in town. I said, well, not yet.
That would
Keep
be
it
good.
back for mine.
It would be good to bring Mike Smith into that conversation from Cotton Area Trails, and OSI. And as a passionate like biker himself, but he would be someone great to pull in for that type of conversation, because they did just have the Mainwoods Rambler up to the Hammond Ridge Trails, which was a bike race track,
Awesome.
bike race, yeah.
Well, are there any months that we don't, like in the spring and summer, that we just don't have anything that we're looking? Cause like, you could do like a whole like bike thing, like a bike weekend, like we could do a kids bike parade, we could do a drive for getting bikes for kids, we could do a mountain trails thing, like we could tie it all into like one weekend.
April to June is kind of the slow, really, really slow months. I've been really
People don't
focusing
hang
on,
around, they're gone.
huh?
People don't hang around.
That's it, and that's really when it's slow, you know, we've been really focusing on winter events, because, you know, when we were talking to the kids in the youth committee. Their biggest thing was there's nothing to do in the wintertime, there's nothing to do in the wintertime, so we've really been focusing on what can we do to improve the wintertime, so. You know, the committee that Jane's with does the snow down, which is a huge hit. And then there's obviously the ski tow project that they're working on, so all these things are happening now, so there'll be more events in, you know, the wintertime. But there's still not really anything in spring,
Mud
so,
season,
mud
that's
season,
why.
yep. So maybe we can do a mud run, I don't know, but.
Well, they could mountain bike, and I do love that, like incorporating the kids in some way, I mean. The fire station used to hand out helmets, and they don't do that program anymore, this would be a really good opportunity
So-
to teach bike
Like a bike
safety.
safety.
I
Yeah.
actually had that discussion with Tom,
Well,
and I guess it's a good time to bring it up. There was an issue with previous councils with the helmet thing, where they felt like it was a waste of effort and time. I 150% disagree. So two things that I would like to see come back, and maybe now is a good time to talk about amounts and stuff, but the first one being is the helmet and bike safety. I think that's necessary for children, and I think it gets them out of their house.
Mhm.
You know, I think that's one way to get kids out riding their bicycles. So I think that needs to come back. And the fire alarms, when they used to get them out to kids at school. Those two programs I feel like need to come back, and I think this might be a great way to sponsor an event with Tom. And be like, hey, would you be willing to do it? Because I've heard talk, he said he's willing to do the helmet thing. I haven't talked to him about the fire alarm thing, but you know, doing an event at the school, whether it be biking safety and the fire alarm, where they give out free fire alarms, but I think $1,000 goes a long way.
Where like on Saturday morning, the kids take the bike safety course or whatever, and then if they pass it, then on Sunday, they get to be part of like a bike parade down Main Street or something like that.
All
and
great
show off
ideas.
their new helmet.
Showing yeah, new helmets.
And they could decorate their bikes or whatever, and just like, you know, people can line Main Street and, you know.
Clap, yeah.
Yeah. As far as the smoke detectors go and the fire alarms, that program, I loved that program. And it would be a really good opportunity at one of the winter events, or like the movie in October, because most of our fires that we're gonna see happening are going to be happening during the winter time.
Yep.
With electric heaters, burning wood, burning pellets, so that would be a really good opportunity to also teach winter fire safety and like things to be mindful of.
So I guess I wish Tom was here, we could talk about it more, but like I said, I had a brief conversation with him and I was very upset with what I had heard. So, like I said, I think $1,000 goes a long way. You know, we
Yeah.
don't have that big of a school system. If each helmet costs $10 and there's 42 kids, it's $420. I mean, that's not a lot of money.
Right.
So and that's assuming 42 kids even show up, but.
Well, we handed out for the PTO event, how many families did we impact?
Just under 150 kids.
That's
came.
amazing.
Got free school supplies that
And then
day.
we put together bunches of backpacks and some of the kids picked them up and then we gave out the rest of the backpacks at the Trails End Festival. And so all total, we gave out school supplies to 230 kids.
That's
Nice.
fantastic. And that's the whole like Tri-Town area, right?
Yeah.
That's not just Millinocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, we advertised to everyone. We
Yeah.
weren't gonna turn away children. How can you
Nope.
tell a little kid now?
Yeah, no.
No, like that, that's not fair. So but that's gonna happen again though. at any of these events.
No, I'm not turning, if, you
Yeah.
know, somebody from Medway or East Millinocket wants to come in, absolutely, you know, I've talked with Clint, I'd love to do a future event between the Tri-Town areas, you know,
Mhm.
do a huge, one huge Tri-Town event. Once a year, that all of us get involved on, and all the towns
A
communicate
few
on.
years ago, one of our first years, I think it was our second year here, there was a big Christmas thing for the kids up at the high school in the gym. And it was like a big community-wide thing, you know, all the different organizations, like the library had a table
Yeah,
where
the
kids could
community
make
Christmas
ornaments.
party.
And it was amazing. It was just like, it was one of those things that, you know, I think it was our second year here and we were like, we love this town more every year.
Mm.
Because it just was like so many, and it just was like, and all that stuff went away with COVID, and is that something that we can?
Yeah, that community Christmas party, you're right. That was really, really fun and such a nice time for the kids. There were crafts for not only for them, but like artisans selling their crafts. That was really fun. That would be
And there
cool
were
to
like
do.
lots of, yeah, there were lots of, like every table either had something that the kids could participate in or like just something, and it was just so much fun, and there was snacks and they could, you know, there was a line forever for pictures with Santa, so we didn't get that because Lily wasn't having that, but like, it was just like and all the kids dressed up, and there were little girls in, you know, their floofy tutus, and it was just, I was like, every time I come to something in this town, of course, we were new here, I was like, I fall more in love with this town, and then all that stuff went away, and I'm like, can we bring some of that back, because it just felt like real community. Like,
Yeah.
half the town was there serving the kids, the other half of the town was there with their kids, kind of thing.
It's unfortunate because a lot of stuff happened this year that destroyed a lot of bridges between community, well, I should say communities between, you know, different groups of town.
Yes,
So I'm hoping doing some of these things will help re-bridge those gaps.
Yeah.
You know, I think
which is why the PTO teamed up with the town for the,
that was a great first start.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the movies, I think getting like the senior class involved in that is another great way to get our foot in the door and reestablishing a relationship. Which will create more of these events in the future, so absolutely.
Openness to collaborate.
Yep,
Cause right now there isn't as much as I think anyone would like to see, but this would
well,
create
I'm willing to
opportunities.
go sit down and talk to like new administration and stuff too, because I'm new, I wasn't part of that, I wasn't part of, you know, and let's face it, I'm like a human gummy bear, it's hard to keep me. And so like, I'm happy to like bridge a gap and be like, hey, you're a new administration here, I'm new to this committee, what can we do to?
that's
So
my
PTO
plan,
Is no longer in existence, you're saying?
It doesn't seem like it.
really. Just lack of participation or,
Yes.
okay, that's all I had to say. We
This
can pick
is
up-
being recorded, so.
Yeah, we can pick up where things left off, though. I'm 100% okay with doing that. From my council perspective, I plan on going over and introducing myself to the new administration once this election's over. You know, introducing myself to those who won and the new superintendent. Beth Peavy was actually one of my teachers, so I have my foot in the door with her already. So those are all great ways to reestablish communication with them. And like I said, if you want to go over too, I think all of us really should, you know, and say, hey, this is what we're willing to do. Who can we talk to from the classes to, you know, get them to come do these things? Kama Michigan is going to be another great person to reach out to. So I think overall we have a pretty good list to start for this winter.
Yeah,
So this was a big step from last year. So last year it was very minimal, a lot of planning, but nothing actually
Well,
No,
I'm
fruition,
willing to
coming
help
to
with,
fruition.
We're a dynamic duo when it comes to party planning, so.
yeah, that's kind of my thing. But yeah, after I get approved, if, you know, I'm willing to do what I can for, you know, if you wanna do like the Christmas stroll kind of event type thing, whatever it ends up being called, and, you know, I can help coordinate people to come down and have booths and, you know, try not to have too much duplication there and stuff like that.
Perfect. So every Friday from here on out, I'm gonna start releasing for the events committee, that is just the members, which I'm hoping you can accept it. Obviously, I can't say whether or not you will, but I'm gonna
I don't
release.
think I have any real enemies that would.
No, I don't think so,
Definitely
but
not her, but
I don't know what the
maybe-
council's gonna do.
Maybe there's a
Um,
whole campaign against me going on as we speak, that's why they're not here.
I think that every day, I don't know. But that being said, every Friday, I'm gonna start releasing my progress on these updates. So you guys will get an email from me, whether it be a PDF file or Word document, or just an email saying, hey, this is the progress that I made. On the topics that I said that I would follow up on. That way, there's a little bit more communication with everything going on. Obviously, I've been away this last month, but I really do want to hit things on the head, and winter was my biggest complaint last year, so.
Can I ask a favor of you?
You can, yeah.
Can you delegate some of those tasks? Cause you don't
Yeah.
have to do it all, like, we are here to support you as well. I want to do just as much as you do, you
Yeah,
know?
Absolutely.
I want, you don't have to do that all alone, that's too much pressure to put on yourself. But
Right.
honestly, and when those things don't happen, then you're the only one left to blame, and that's not fair, we're an entire committee, so
Yep.
you have to delegate those things.
That was the
Don't
biggest.
be scared
That was
to
the
tell me
biggest
to do
complaint
something.
last year, was Tom was like the only one running the show. And, you know, when I took over, it was kind of the same thing. There was very limited communication because there really wasn't anybody showing up to the meetings. It took like 3 meetings to actually get more than 4 people to show up. So now that we actually have an established party, yes, absolutely. It's just transitioning into that step to
Yeah.
do that.
And it's
That's
scary to trust people that they're actually gonna follow through, but
right.
I know I can speak for myself, I've personally done things with Rebecca, I know Louis shows up. You can delegate those things and your team will have your back, so I know it's scary, cause sometimes people drop the ball and they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And that sucks, but
Stuff happens and I get that,
don't be
but
scared to
absolutely.
delegate to me.
You know, school wise, you know, we can talk more, next week when I send out that email. My plan is, like I said, not this week, but next week, I'm gonna go over to the high school, introduce myself to, the new superintendent, and then when the election's over, I'll do the new, school board members. That way we can get a foot in the door. But if you guys know any of the senior class, you know, or the junior class, or any classes for that matter that are doing fundraising, you know, say something to them. I'm more than willing to talk with anybody.
Yeah,
I did talk to Kyle Leathers about the youth committee. They've been working really hard on the community center project.
yeah, I just got an update from him on that.
Yeah, we actually met at the DMV. We sat and
Oh.
talked for like a half hour.
Nice.
So yeah, I'd like to get them, his group involved more too,
Is there a
on stuff.
community center in works or?
And,
There's
yeah,
conversation, and
Yeah,
there's a group of
conversation.
kids that they're very impressive and they have put a lot of work and thought into it and making it happen, and that's been really inspiring to watch. this group of
they're
kids.
really nice kids.
Mhm, and they have
Um,
great ideas and they slowly but surely have made headway in progress.
we got, you know, there was a couple of stopping points that felt like a dead end, but I mean, they look at it as just an obstacle that they have to get around. It's fantastic. They really want this to come to fruition, which in retrospect, if it does happen, it benefits everybody,
Right,
not just them.
right.
Really?
So, and they
And
realize that.
This was just a middle school project for them, they're all now high schoolers still working on it. So they're not even in this class anymore, but it has become so important to them, so I'm really excited.
Me
Is there
too.
anything that we could do to assist them or?
Right now, it's more of a fundraising phase, and grant phase. They're working with, some people from the YMCA and the different organizations around the state. So right now, it's about money, and of course, every community and their mother, you know, applying for fundraising. So it depends, like, there's a huge project going on in Bangor right now, a multi-million-dollar project that will be competing with us if we do apply for these grants.
Is there anything we can do with like opportunity zone type thing or anything where somebody could invest in a building that would be then a sheltered thing because it'd be used by this organization? or
I
whatever?
have I've gone and spoke with the class, the group about funding opportunities. we went and we toured a building,
Cause I was
I
thinking
told
maybe
them-
if we take it out of the grant and fundraising thing and take it more into the for-profit, cause I know that this is an opportunity zone, right?
We,
Yes, so-
we even talked about pulling out a bond from the municipal level too, just to get
Because I
it
was just
done.
thinking like, cause sometimes like there's a lot of people competing for grants and nonprofit money. but
right.
If we could get some for-profit money.
So what I actually spoke to the kids about is formulating their business plan and then hosting an event inviting stakeholders and investors and, you know.
Do they know
people-
how to do a business plan?
That's what Kyle has been working, they worked all summer on this with Kyle. So, and right now, the YMCA told them they need to establish a 501c3. So that's what their current status is they're working on that with Kyle, per the guidance of the YMCA. So,
They're making a lot of headway.
yeah, we're trying, I think a lot of people are trying to let them make decisions because it makes them feel more empowered to kind of
Right.
back off and not.
Well, that's,
step-
I was
right.
just asking because
Yeah.
that's what I do, is
Yeah.
There-
I coach people to
Make a business.
There was a conversation held
work on their.
last
pitches and-
year, that didn't go so well, that it really felt like they were taking things away from the kids, so that's kind of where it solidified that the kids really wanna do this, so we've kind of taken a step back and let them do it, which is awesome, because they've literally just done everything to a T that they're supposed to be doing. So I have faith that we will eventually, in the very near future, get an update on some really big news.
And I just wanted to, and I don't know the kids involved, but also there's a lot of entrepreneur groups in the state, and some of them have like pitch contests and stuff, where there's some big, pretty big cash prizes. And seriously, a group of kids from Millinocket pitching about starting a nonprofit, like, they would be a shoo-in to win.
That's what I said to them, I said, how are they gonna deny your sweet faces?
They can't, you can't
That's
say
what
no to a
I said, you can't
kid.
have any of us do your pitch, like, you have to be the one doing your pitch, because it's more impactful.
Yeah, so they're making a lot of headway, but yes, I would like to help them out any way we can. Whether it be helping them with an event for like stakeholders.
Fundraising, yeah, or like welcoming people to come chat with them.
Yep, so definitely open to that. Next meeting time, I'm thinking 2 weeks, so we can get the movie thing and everything situated. I'm gonna send, once you get that information, if everyone's okay with it, I will send all 3 of those orders to Peter to add the account numbers and everything for the council to review.
I mean, Tuesday,
Yes, well,
some of them,
the Hocus Pocus one,
Tuesday,
you do need that one Tuesday.
yeah, so we can get it approved, so I can get it
Perfect.
paid for.
Yep, that's fine, and then Jeff's, which,
We can wait for
We
that
can wait
one,
on
for
that
the
one.
invoice.
and then there was the third one, I can't remember what it was, but I have it written down. So, but all those things are great, so 2 weeks from now, we'll do it on, if Friday's better for everybody, it's easier on me.
Can we do it earlier on a Friday? Is this like the only time?
We can, there was complaints about us not hosting it
Late
late
enough?
enough, but I think I'm fine with doing it at like 4 o'clock.
That would just be nice, so I
Yeah.
can spend some time with my kid, he goes to bed, so I got to see him kiss him and then come right here, that's all, I just wanna spend time with my son.
No, I 100%,
You get
I
it.
almost brought my son with me, but no, I think, multiple people have complained about not being able to come, but this is the 3rd meeting that I've hosted later that people really haven't made an effort to come, so I'm fine with pushing it back till 4.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yep.
And if we have to change again, I mean, I will suck it up.
I wanna see my son too, so.
Yeah.
I'm good with
I
that.
can spend my Friday evenings with him. No big
Perfect,
deal.
well, if that's it,